Sam Logue here for Green Blood Boxing. Delighted to be joined by the wizard himself, friend of the channel, Jake Hanney. Jake, how's it going, bud? First of
all good, Sam. All good. Everything's as good as it can be, I suppose. Everything's all good.
yeah. Well, like we were just talking a little bit off camera there. You got engaged, so congratulations.
Cheers, man.
We saw you celebrating that as well a couple week or two ago, so we'll touch on that maybe later on. But congrats, man. Yeah, brilliant. Good to see. So obviously things are going well for you, but in the boxing realm, things have been a little bit tough lately. Obviously, you were on the card, the Boxing Ireland Promotions card up at in the Devenish in Belfast. Unfortunately, your fight fell through kind of last minute. Couldn't really find a replacement, but you had an exhibition bout with Dominic Donegan, who actually has also had to step in tonight for to provide an exhibition fight with Owen O'Neill, who also had a pull out. Jordan Latimer pulled out their fight. So fair play to him.
I offered my service as well tonight.
Did you?
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah.
Unreal, man. What did they say? What did they say when you offered your services?
I just briefly texted Steve. He said your name was mentioned, but he went with Dom.
Yeah, fair enough. Unlucky, like, because it would have been nice to get another. I suppose the thing about those exhibition fights is they're kind of good in a way because you haven't, like, nobody's been active for ages, so it's good to get out, be able to have a fight, but not for it not to count. Even if you win, okay, it doesn't count on your record, but you get the feelings of, I did well there, and I know I won that, and everyone knows I won that. So it's like confidence builder. It gets you in the ring. So I suppose there's a lot to be said for the exhibition fights. But let's talk about your exhibition fight with Dominic Donegan. First of all, like, you were obviously a bit upset that your fight fell through, but just talk to me about the whole thing, fight falling through, and then subsequently having the exhibition. Yeah.
So the way I was walking, myself, Borky, and I think it was myself and Borky. I think they were having trouble with opponents right up until the last week. But myself and Borky was matched from, say, 6 weeks out. So they were matched right up until the end, no problems whatsoever. And with the fight week, the arse fell out with myself and Borky's opponent, And then Stephen, they're trying to work their match. I think myself personally, I think they gave the British board 8 opponents, and they just kept saying no, issues with this, issues with that. So in the end, long story short, in the end, it just had to be an exhibition. It was a bit of a disaster because he had a good opponent. He had a good opponent planned. Not a good opponent. It was a decent opponent. I think he had like 4 wins, 4 knockouts, 1 loss. You know what I mean? It would have been good. It would have got rounds. Decent sort of level. He's boxed that as well. But at his last fight, he was stopped by a decent prospect in England. It was over 2 years ago, so it sounds like he was stopped last week, but they had an issue with it. That was the last one we tried, I think. So then after that, I thought it was off the show, so
so
it wasn't really great.
At least you got the box, as you say. But that's funny you say that. So they actually did put a lot of opponents to the British Boxing Board of Control, and they just wouldn't pass any of them. That's basically what it was.
I think they put 8 opponents in them, and I think, as I said, the last few, I think some of them have been better than most journeymen, but they're not passing anybody at the minute. I think that's being stopped, But like, this fella was stopped. He stopped by a 14-0 kid in England, so he's been stopped by, and he has 4 wins previous and 4 KOs. You know what I mean? So
it's weird, isn't it? It doesn't seem to make sense.
Record, so I got a phone call then. So you knock off, and that thing sort of happens, you think you're off the show, you're on the show. I think it plays with your head a little bit, so you sort of lose. I wouldn't say you're out. I wouldn't say you don't want to fight, but you sort of, you're in the middle, you're in the grey area, you don't know what's going on. You're saying, you can make them wait and all, like you're saying, oh, come here, look, I'll have something to eat and I'll fight the next one, But but they got Dom in. The force got Dom in. I wasn't really I was a bit tiff and go. I was thinking, will I bother doing an exhibition? Is it a bit embarrassing? Is it this and that? But to be honest, you were spot on what you said there earlier on. It hit the nail on the head. It gets you out in front of the crowd. It's a fight, it gets you out in front of the crowd, and it gets you moving around, active again. It's like another fight.
Yeah, exactly. And well, I'm curious, do you get, if you have an exhibition fight, do you still get a few quid for that? Like, do you still get whatever that you might have got beforehand, or just do those details change?
I wasn't getting the money. I was getting, they changed, which is understandable. But still got a few quid. I think Dom got a few quid, so it worked out well. The exhibition was good as well, because I tell you what, I went back sparring, I think I think Dylan Wilson and that come down sparring, and a few come down sparring during the week after. I was back training straight away. And just from them rounds, I felt fucking electric, you know. I felt good. So it was a good win, but it was a bit anticlimax because I feel like you had to do everything well. You had to have the exhibition, and we haven't got the win on your record. You know what I mean? Not that I won the fight at the exhibition, but it was just a bit like, you know, a bit like, you know. I was saying that's grand, but then after I was saying, "Jeez, I would have loved another W on box rec." You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. So talk to me about how training has been going and stuff. Obviously, I know you've been away a few times recently, for different reasons. But how has training been going in general? Have you been in the gym a lot? And just talk to me about it. How's it going?
Training's been going good. Training's been going good, to be honest. I've been away, but I've still been training. You know. I've been doing my own bits, keeping active, where previously I wouldn't do nothing, you know what I mean? Yeah. You know, so I've changed in that way. But training's been going good. I was doing a couple of rounds and a couple of sessions of field just this week before he went away with young Willow Hayden's boxing over in England this weekend.
He's on the second show,
yeah, which will be a good night. But training's been good. It's been busy, like it's been good. The tempo's been kept and the level's been kept, so I'm feeling good, you know. I just need to shed a few pounds, I think, and I'll be all right.
Good stuff. Yeah. I suppose it'd be easy to do that as well, though, when you have a concrete date, right?
Yeah.
Talk me through a little bit, like what your kind of week looks like when you're training. You're obviously up in Crumlin with Phil Sutcliffe. You just mentioned there, young Willow Hayden is in the gym, and you have a good crop of boxers in the gym now. Good crop of pros who are all seem to be very dedicated and of quite a good level. So it must be a good atmosphere to be in training among the lads, and especially with the good coaching team that they have that Phil has assembled down there at Crumlin. But talk to me about what does your training week look like? Because obviously you're working as well, so I'm interested in
that. So a normal week for me would be get up, go to work, come home about 4 o'clock. I go have a bit of dinner with the missus, do whatever I have to do. And then I'd head to the gym for 7, you know, and I'd be there in the evenings, every evening with Phil. And I think all the big boys, the elite, start at 7, you know. So there's always a good bunch of lads there, and it's always very competitive, which I've always loved, you know, because I've boxed throughout the years in Irish teams, and I love that sort of training with people and training with lads that's at your level, and you know, and just training in an environment like that. Some people like training on their own, you know. Some people like doing their own thing. I don't like too many people. But from the years of coming through the amateurs and through the Irish teams, I've always liked going away with lads and being in that sort of environment. That makes me feel better, you know. And that's what they have down there. But they train there every morning as well. Phil is there every morning as well with his team of men as well. You know, we'd have a few pad men there. You'd have some other coaches there as well. So I do get time off a lot. So we'll be down there in the mornings as well. Like, or if he says to me, like, Jake, we have someone down for a spar Wednesday morning. I'll take Wednesday, get a bit of time off Wednesday. I'll go and spar Wednesday morning. So it's a bit flexible like that with me at work, you know.
Class. That's perfect. Yeah, that you have that flexibility in work.
Yeah. I think at the minute I might be going in. I might be starting something new, a new job at the minute. So it might be shift work, which will work out even better, you know. So I'll have like 2 days on, 4 days off, 3 days on, 4 days. You know what I mean? Work like that, you know.
Brilliant, yeah.
Which is really good.
Suppose in your days off, then you can kind of do double sessions, and you can have like full days to train, and you can really work your training around it. Yeah, man, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. Well, hopefully that comes off, and you can kind of get that get the training down as best you can. So I want to talk a little bit about, obviously you've been a little bit unlucky with the fights of recent times. Like we said that you had the exhibition with Dom as your opponent fell out and they couldn't get an opponent past. And then the Boxing Ireland show that was supposed to be in Dublin was November, right? And this month, or was it at the end of October? It was supposed to be it was in November. In any case, it was cancelled. They had to postpone it till next year, it looks. Was that a bit of a blow? Because that would have been a big one. I mean, for you, it probably would have been able to sell a few tickets, get a few people down.
Yeah, for me, that was a big one. You know, I was talking to Stephen I was seeing Stephen a little bit before that, about a week before that, and he sort of said to me, just me and him were just chatting. He was saying, to be honest, we were chatting about opponents and we were chatting about this and that. But he says, to be honest, Stephen was a little bit worried, you know, with the way things were going, because the guidelines and what the government was saying, he was thinking that this was going to happen, you know, they weren't going to open back up fully or whatever as such, you know, with the restrictions. So that just sort of, it prepared me a little bit, like, for what was coming, you know. But I was gutted, like I was gutted because there was potentially a couple of big fights on the line there for myself, like, you know.
Yeah.
Potentially, what's his name? O'Connor from Celtic Warriors gym was mentioned for Celtic title maybe, and then there was another name then thrown in the mix as well. I won't say the name just yet because and nothing ever came of it, you know what I mean? So I won't say the name, but
yeah, fair enough.
But it was potentially me headlining the show and getting a chance to fight for the Celtic title again,
Brilliant.
which would have made me third time I would have brought it home to the house, you know.
Yeah,
definitely 100%, like.
Yeah.
But I was a little bit gutted, you know, because it was all working out in my favour with the way things were going for the show. So I was a little bit gutted, and just gutted for a lot of people wanted to come over and see me that couldn't make it to Belfast as well, you know. So
Yeah.
it was good, but I can understand these things happen, you know. We've had a couple of fight offers as well in between Belfast and here, you know. But
Yeah,
I was
tell me
away.
about them. Yeah, so tell me
Yeah,
about some of the opportunities that have been offered to you recently. Some big names, right? And some tough fights.
So we're offered actually in Belfast in the Belfast show in September, was it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, September. I think it was September. Belfast show in September. That
Or
was on
early
Saturday.
October.
Friday
Early
night,
October.
October, sorry. We were offered a fight on the Friday night, the night before the Belfast show. It was only on about a week's notice, you know, but it was over on one of the fight sound shows in Scotland, and it would have been a good 8-rounder, but we would have took it. But as I said, I was away and Phil was away that week. I was doing my own little bit of getting engaged, and Phil was been away with a boxing team as well. So we just hadn't got time in the gym together really, and it didn't really make sense. There's no point in jumping in like I would have done previously into these fights when they're gonna come again and we're gonna be ready for them this time. And you know, there's no point in risking that, and when we can win them.
Well, that's it. That's 100%. Like in the position that you're in now, and that's a good discussion I wanted to have, which is like, is the mentality that like, well, we can see from your decision making that you want the fights, but you're not willing to jump in if you feel like it diminishes your chances of winning the fights, because you're a good slick boxer. You always have a chance to win fights, but a week's notice against, say, a prospect or another good guy, when you haven't really been, you know, working too closely with your coach and stuff like that, it's tough, isn't it? Maybe the fitness wouldn't be the best. Maybe you're sacrificing a lot to get just to show up for the fight where you don't have the best chance. So is that the kind of way you're trying to move now? You're trying to give yourself the best chance to win these fights when you do get the opportunities?
Yeah, exactly. That's it. Nail on the head. You know, we would have took the fight if you had been in the same shape as I was in going to Alicante. We'd have took the fight like a light. But just the way things worked out in the lead up to Belfast with work, and I was away and Phil was away, and we weren't even doing 8-round sparring really. You know, we didn't even do much sparring for Belfast, to be honest. You know, so it didn't really make sense. But we had been doing 6, 8-round, 10-round spars in the gym and being ready. It's a fight we would have took like a light. You know, and we're not willing to jump into them just yet. Like if we're not ready, because when we are ready, like you know, we will win, like, you know. So it's not worth risking at the minute, you know.
Yeah.
But we are in the gym now, and we're doing them big rounds, and we're ready. So we're just ready for the call now. Another fight that I was offered. I was actually over in Switzerland about 3 or 4 weeks ago. I was over there, and we got a phone call. We offered the Harlem Eubank fight.
Yeah, big name.
Which
big
is
name.
good for a big name, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was actually going to fly home and then fly over. I think it was in I don't know where it was. It wasn't in England. It was somewhere in Europe, anyways. But we are going to fly over to the show, and we just said, you know what? Look, I'm away. Just wait. Just see. You know, I'm eager to go. I have to be told away sometimes, you know, because they're looking at that. That's good management, good coaching as well. They're looking out for us, you know. They're making sure when I do get the chance, or we do take the chance, that we're going to be ready, which is something I never really had previously. I jump in and think, yeah, I'm good enough to beat them, but really, your conditioning has to be right, you know. And
you have to be prepared. Yeah, you have to be prepared correctly for other good fighters. Otherwise, you probably will just lose. Like, it's as simple as that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
you learned that the hard way, you know.
Yeah, unfortunately, but you're still relatively like you haven't had that many pro fights yet, you know, relatively speaking. So you still have time, don't you? Like, but what do your managers be saying to you? Obviously, you're close enough with Stephen Sharp, of course, and Leonard Gunning who'd be kind of your advisors and managers. What do they say when that probably comes through them, right? That opportunity to fight someone like Harlem Eubank. I think it was on the Maris Bradis undercard. It was a Wasserman boxing card, right, in Lafayette. So that's what it was. Yeah, big stage, right? what were they saying to you when that came through? Was he kind of a bit apprehensive, like, look, I don't know if this is the best thing, or was he just saying, well, look, talk to Phil? You know, what kind of conversation was had there?
Yeah, well, that's what like the thing is that the lads, they'll ring you and offer you the fight, and then they say, what do you think? And then we'll chat with Phil, me and Steve will chat together, and we'll just come up what's best, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think Steve was the sort of one saying to me, just sit for a little while. He says, look, I was in the middle of Switzerland, like, just having a coffee, you know what I mean? And I got the message through with the deal, 8 round, and I was like on the phone to Phil as well, and Phil thought they took me down a notch. Like, there was like, wait, like Phil was like, wait, he says, you haven't even sparred up to 8 rounds in the last few weeks yet, you know what I mean? There's no point going in. He says, a winnable fight, you could easily win the fight, he says, but just wait, you know what I mean? Just wait till you're in peak condition, you know. And that's the thing about Phil. He's as cute as a fox, you know what I mean? Phil, like, he's a great man to have around, and he knows his stuff, you know.
Yeah, 100%. Very experienced dude. Yeah, I mean, like, one name that has been that's been mentioned a bit, and there's been a bit of back and forth, is obviously Declan Geraghty. Yeah, let's talk about that for a minute, because it's, for like me personally, I think it's a really good fight. I was actually only talking to Deco. He wants to fight. Like, he wants to fight you early next year for the Irish title. Obviously the super lightweight Irish title. What do you think of the matchup? And just it's been a bit of back and forth lately. Like, what's your feeling about the whole thing?
Yeah, it's great, isn't it? Like, you know what I mean? Like, as I was saying, I was not the big calling people out or anything anymore, and nothing like that, you know. So I just say, I think it all came about, I think, when I was in Belfast, you know what I mean? The opponents pulled out, and I was just saying, I'd say in a message or something like that. He actually tagged me or something, on Instagram, you know what I mean? Come here, he says he wasn't looking for that, but like, if you're tagging someone saying this, that, and that, you know what I mean? But he says, I got down and jump in with you, but like, I thought he meant to come down and fight you, but seems he meant to come down and do an exhibition. Seems he, right?
Yeah.
But I thought that's where the wires might have been crossed. But I was like, how can you fight me? Like, the British board have a deadline. You have to have opponents in, boy, and stuff like that. And I knew it wasn't feasible, so I just thought he was just not me talking pony, saying I'll come down and fight. I'll come down and fight him, knowing that the fight couldn't be made. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But look, it's a fight that I'd absolutely love. You know what I mean? I'd love that fight. You know.
How does that fight go? I mean, that's, a lot of people would probably have Declan a favorite in that fight, right? You know, he has a lot more fights than you. He's fought at a good level. He's fought a lot of good opponents. And obviously he was a very decorated amateur and stuff like that at Irish level at the very least. So how do you see a fight with Deco going? And preferably, would you jump straight in, or would you want like a couple more fights, maybe just push up the level slightly before you jumped into a fight like that? Or
No, I jump straight into that fight. No problem. Yeah, I'd fight. I went to Wales. Where's that show he's posting on this weekend?
The one
got cancelled, did it?
Which one?
Posting on a show against the Welsh fella this week. Was it this weekend or next weekend?
That Deco's opponent.
Yeah, it got cancelled recently, didn't it?
Yeah, it's in a week or two. I can't remember the exact date. It's in a week or two. Yeah, Kieran Getting couldn't make weight apparently. Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, have you reached out to anyone about that? Because that's an NTK card, I'm sure.
Look, if they're looking for an opponent, they know where I am. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's no problem to me. I'd be looking to jump straight into that fight. I don't really want to talk too much about how it's going to happen, how it's going to go. If you have a bit of history together, it'll probably go how it always goes. You know.
Okay, you don't want to tell us how it always goes, no.
We'll have to leave a little bit to the imagination, you know what I mean?
Yeah, fair enough. I do think it's a good fight, though.
I think it's a great fight. Yeah, look, it's a good fight. It's two Dublin lads, two friends. You know what I mean? I've trained with Deco for years. I've trained these dads, like, they're nice people. You know what I mean? I wouldn't have anything bad to say about. You know what I mean? We're all good friends. And but look, it's a fight that makes sense. You know what I mean? If two of us where we are in our careers, like, let's do it. Like, you know what I mean? I think I just think I'm too big. You know?
Yeah. I suppose if Declan was fighting for a long time at super featherweight, probably shouldn't have been really, like, he was killing himself to get to the weight, it seems. But yeah, you feel like you're just a bigger man in the ring when it comes to it.
Feel like that, yeah, like super featherweight, light welterweight. The guy was in there with super middleweight doing an exhibition. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so to go to such, you know what I mean? So, But we go fight. Look, let's get it done. Like I don't want to talk, but let's just get it done. Let's get the pay done. I would like whenever it's available. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, but I'm sure my obviously my managers and stuff, they want to they obviously wanted to be on the good on their show and the good build up and things like that, you know. And so it's just a bit of politics. But as I said, I think Deco's game, own game. As I said on Twitter, all the best. Let's do it straight away after that. Would be good if it was for that belt, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
Bring something to the table then.
Yeah, to be honest though, that would be a great like headliner in Dublin where there's a bit of time and you can both sell a load of tickets for it and all. Like that would be
make a few bob.
Make a few quid out of it as well. That's the other thing. Yeah.
A few bob. And believe you, like there's big. Oh yeah, you know, but there's big want for that fight. Like there's a lot of interest in it. Like you know, so
there is. Yeah.
It'll make sense, and the people are going to enjoy it because I know they're going to know me, and it'll be a barnstormer. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
The game plan will soon go out the window. Like you know, and that's the way I go. You know, so I know for a fact. But that's the way boxing is sometimes. You know.
Yeah, 100%. Want to ask your opinion on a couple of fights and stuff that are coming up, and then I won't hold you for too much longer. But before I do, I want to ask you about, you were obviously celebrating your engagement very recently in the Black Forge, which of course is owned now by Conor McGregor. Obviously, loads of pictures surface and stuff of him being involved in your party and having the crack and stuff. I'm interested in, like, obviously, like what you can't deny is that people will have their opinions about Conor McGregor, but what you can't deny is the level that he's competed at. He's, you know, at least maybe not right at the second, but for a couple of years ago, he was one of the best combat sports athletes around, I think is fair to say. So, you know, did you talk about boxing? Did you talk about MMA? What did you kind of discuss? Did he talk about your career a little bit? Did he give any insights into what he's going to be doing, or what kind of conversations were had there?
To be honest, me and Conor be childhood friends, you know.
Really?
So yeah. So we would have hung around together, I'd say, from the age of 15, 16 up to fucking right up to we went to Australia, you know. So we'd be good friends, you know. And I've seen him a few times. I chat to him. I chat to him a bit anyways, you know. So when I seen him, it was great to see he was home. He come in and straight away I just asked him how the leg was, how he was feeling. He was fucking bouncing around, showing me how he was feeling, you know what I mean? He was 100%, you know. There's no denying he's a master. He's a master of his craft, you know. He was untouchable, wasn't he? In the UFC, like, you know, he's done everything. He was the double champ, isn't he? Like, he's literally, you know what I mean? He's the main man there. Like, he's set the bar there, and people have to reach it. You know what I mean? We were just briefly talking about some training. We were talking about Phil, how good Phil is. We're talking about maybe doing a little bit together when he's back training. We were talking about what's next for him. He's thinking he's going to go out in the new year, 100%. He says he feels good. He's just enjoying his rest at the minute. Well, he's not even resting. He's still doing a bit, you know. Yeah. And we're just catching up on old times. Like, we're just having a good time, really, you know.
That's class. Does kind of being in someone like Conor's presence, does it give you a bit of a boost and stuff? Because at the end of the day, you as a combat sports athlete and a good professional boxer, being around someone like him, is it a bit? Do you get something off him like this? Does he have that kind of bit of an aura? Like, does it kind of motivate you?
Yeah. You can just see the presence he carries. You know, it's ridiculous. You know, well, as I said, we're good friends. We know each other a long time. You know, and even when I don't see him, and then I see him, it's like, you know, like he carries that. You know, and he's unbelievable. You know, he's quality, like how nice he is, how he deals with everybody, like, you know, no issues. People we're having a chat, everybody's coming up to him trying to have a chat, pictures. It's never a problem, you know. He's entertaining everybody. He's built for it, he's made for it, you know what I mean? How he handles it is a credit to him, you know, because even though I was like, you know what I mean, I chatting everybody's coming up, you know. So it's a credit to him, you know, and he definitely rubs off you, and he shows you what could be, you know, and he's worked hard for everything, you know. He's worked hard, so everything he has he deserves, you know. So he's worked hard. He's been through the wars, he's been through the trenches, and he deserves what he gets, and he's enjoying it, which is the main thing, you know. Yeah.
Is he looking at that Dustin Poirier trilogy fight, or what's the story? Was he telling you about that?
We didn't really get into it. I'd imagine knowing him, that's what he wants anyways, you know. You know, he want to rectify that straight away, you know what I mean? Knowing him, that's that's the way he is, you know. So I'd imagine that's what he's looking at here. Yeah. Boxing as well. I think he's looking at a bit of boxing as well, you know.
Yeah, I was interested in him. I have to say, even just personally, especially a couple of years ago, I was interested in him coming over and having a few like proper boxing matches, but like not against like Mayweather or Pacquiao or anything like that. I think that's too high level, like, you know what I mean? But like a little lower down, like a kind of a British level, you know, that kind of something like that. I think it'd be really interesting, like someone like a Sam Eggington or someone like that. I think
Yeah,
that
yeah,
would
yeah.
be
Like, you know
super
what?
interesting. Like,
Yeah, do you know what, mate? I think I don't know so much about levels, but I know think that it's getting used to the long rounds. You know what I mean? Not the long rounds, like the long rounds in UFC, but like I think what happened to Mayweather fight, like he hit Mayweather. You know what I mean? He hit him fucking more times than I've seen anybody hit him now. Whether Mayweather's peak or not, he was the best ever Mayweather. But I think he sort of getting himself ready for 12 rounds, 10, 12 rounds after being just doing 3 and 5. You know, so you sort of trying to find out where you're at, where you're at, trying to pace yourself, and
yeah,
ultimately thinking too much in the ring or before the ring, and these things it drains you anyways, you know. So
yeah.
I wouldn't know about levels, but definitely, like, you know, you'd have to just get ready for the rounds more than anything, you know.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, it'd be interesting if you were able to do a bit of training together. I suppose that would be a nice boost. And he does, to be fair, he seems to be quite a tidy boxer. I mean, Phil, I was talking to Phil about it before, and he was telling me that he improved like a massive amount in the time that they were doing a bit of work together and stuff. So be interesting to see what happens there. And if you can benefit off him coming to the gym and doing a bit of training with him and his team and stuff like that, fucking hell, like why not jump on it, eh? Why not jump on that train and get some experience and get a bit of training with someone like that? Yeah, man, just a couple of things, like a couple of fights, and then I'll let you go, that I'm interested in hearing your opinion on. I don't know how much you kind of watch the boxing and stuff like that. There's actually the CRUMLIN boxing card is on up the north right now. The fighter headline, and you have it on there in the corner.
I mean, I have it on there.
You have a paused, have you? I had it on. James McGivern was on when I jumped on here with you. I have a pause.
That's the first I've seen of him.
Oh, James McGivern is beautiful. He's brilliant, beautiful boxer.
That's the first name. He's lovely, nice southpaw.
Yeah,
seen him. Yeah, I hadn't seen that. Like,
lovely style. Jesus, we've a few really good prospects coming up.
Did you see O'Neill, and did he show O'Neill and Dominic?
No, I didn't see it. And I'm not sure if IFL had it on the broadcast, but I presume it probably was actually, but I'm not too sure. I want to go back. Yeah, I was upset for Owen. Owen's an absolute gent.
I love him. He's an absolute gentleman. He has a ground well owned.
Yeah, Owen's cool.
I can't say we had a few points after the fight. He's a good man.
Yeah, I ended up having a few points with him after when we got back to the hotel.
Like, God bless you. He was mad when he was with you. You can imagine when he was with you.
He was fucking, oh God, poor Owen. We're slating him here. Jeez, yeah, no, he wasn't great. It was funny though. It was fun. Yeah, I had the chats afterwards. Now it was great crack. But yeah, shame that his fight fell through. Jesus, a lot of guys are giving your man Jordan Latimer serious stick, saying that he just fucking bottled it and he just fucked him around.
Saying what if the round was true and that's the way he did it? He's just a bottler, you know what I mean? I think you have a lot of people in this fight game that'll talk a good talk and they want all this and that, but you just actually want fight, like, and a lot of people that handpick that opponent just get in a fight, like. But if it is true, that's what he is, and I think he should get a ban or something, you know. You can't do that to lads, you know.
Yeah.
But I don't know the ins and outs of it. I've seen him put up a post there today saying that he was getting told less money and this, that. So I don't know, but I'd imagine what Leonard known and what's coming out of Ireland is more legit than what's coming out of his mouth. You know what I mean?
I would say so. And like we both you more than me, but we both know Leonard and like.
Yeah. They do that with the boxing.
They're good dudes. Yeah, they're good guys.
That's successful, you know. Like that's just the way it is.
100%. Yeah, so I felt bad for him, but at least like that, like, and fair play to Dominic for jumping in. At least, and like you said, you would have jumped in as well on short notice for a bit of it.
You rocked my spot up there. You did, Dominic. No, I'm only messing on it. It's not good.
Yeah, because it would have been a good little card to get your name on, even in an exhibition, just to.
Yeah, just take it out. Like, I enjoyed that exhibition. It's like a fight. And I come back to the gym better than I was going into the exhibition. You know what I mean? Sharper, faster, more confident. It was like I was getting a fight in, you know. So like, the more the merrier. I just need to get in front of the crowds again, because in the gym I'm performing like fuck. So It's just getting in front of the crowds, settling the nerves again, and that's it, you know. So everything's going well.
Yeah, 100%. The headliner of the event tonight actually is Lewis Crocker, who's only one weight above your weight. Are names like that, you know, Lewis Crocker, he's a very good fighter. He's on the same island as, obviously he's from the north, but you know, we're all on the same island. Is it a fight that you've looked at recently, especially now because you're much more focused at the moment? Is it something that you've looked at, like, oh, there's a name in Ireland that could be a possibility as we push on, as we have a few fights?
I never really thought of it because he's a lightweight. I didn't even know he's a welterweight, but I thought he was actually a light middleweight. I thought, you know, he's big, he's a big welterweight, but he's a welterweight. He's a nice lad as well. When I'm on me, I make like welterweight, like, you know. I make it when I'm doing things right. I make it easy enough. So anybody I think of is in and around that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But look, I'm open to all opponents. So especially like only one way above, you know.
Yeah,
just not
exactly.
one way under.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Not lightweight. Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah, I'll to him as well tonight. He's a top lad. I met him recently up in Belfast, and I was chatting to him then at before the Belfast show, and then I was chatting to him at the Belfast show as well. So he's a top lad, and I wish him all the best. Yeah, he looks like a great prospect, you know. Yeah. From what I heard, he's gonna be good.
Yeah, a lot of guys are bigging him up and singing his praises, like the likes of Carl Frampton and guys like this are talking him up. So
it's time for him to get going now. Then, you know, it's time for him now. This is, I think, the next 12, 18 months to be big months for him. Like if he stays in the gym, does things right, you know, that's where it's going, you know.
Definitely. Couple of big fights this weekend. Well, the biggest one is Canelo and Caleb Plant. How much do you know about it? Like, how much of a fan are you of both guys, and will you stay up and watch it?
I won't stay up and watch it. Them days are gone. Like, I'll watch it the next day now, you know. Them days are long gone for me. Yeah. But I think I'm on Plant. I like him on Plant. Now look, I think Canelo will stop him, but like against anybody else, I like him. I think he's 100%. Like he's a good opponent. Yeah. I think I was seeing someone writing on Twitter today. Billy Joe Saunders and what's man Smith, Colin Smith, both beat Plant. I don't think they do, you know. I think he's a better opponent than them two.
And both of them, really? Okay.
Yeah, I think he's legit. I think he's slick, he's strong. I think he's good. But I just think Canelo's on a different level, isn't he? I suppose, you know. I think he is. I wasn't the biggest fan of Canelo when you know, but you can't deny his class, like, you know, his work ethic, everything, you know, he's a special talent, you know, he's one of a kind, I think.
Yeah, 100%. He does. He's the closest to, well, before Lomachenko got beat, I thought kind of Lomachenko looks basically unbeatable, but now Canelo for me is that guy. It's like sometimes he just looks like, what do you do to beat him? Like, what do you do?
Like even when you listen to him, like, and he's now like even at the press conference, like his mental strength, like he just, you know, he's the different level, like, you know, he just like nothing phases him, seems, you know, like
exactly.
He's I don't think anybody's gonna beat him unless he goes up and that light heavy, that Berbatov or whatever he's called, a light heavy. I think he might give him a fight. Yeah, you know, but I don't know if he'll go there, but he looks good, like, you know. What about yourself? What do you think? Think he wins?
I think it's hard to beat Canelo at the moment, isn't it? Like, I don't know. I just, again,
4-6 or 2-6?
Second six.
Be mad. Go on,
Mammy Hanney, what's the crack? I think 2-6, man, because Canelo tends to take his time, doesn't he? He has a look, he builds in. He's one of my things. Yeah. One of the things I love about him is how calm he is. Like, he doesn't come steaming out. He has a look. He has, you know, he's calm. He knows he has time. I think he's so confident. He's so confident in himself, but also in the fact that he knows he has so many ways to win the fight. That
the job done, never. You know, he doesn't have to do it that way, you know.
Exactly.
But he let them tire themselves out as well, I'd imagine, you know, because they'll be burning a lot of energy first few rounds, you know, with him thinking and trying to keep safe, and you know, that takes a lot out of you know what I mean? You're constantly under pressure, even though they're not throwing it and you're constantly under pressure, it takes a lot out of you.
Yeah.
But this seems a little bit personal for him, you know, so I wouldn't be surprised if he comes out that little bit faster, you know.
Definitely, yeah.
Knockout.
What do you think? First or 2-6?
I think the 4-6. I think he knocks out early.
Yeah,
early? Yeah, just like he knows, yeah. No, I think in the 4-6 rounds he'll knock him out. 5 or 6, I think.
Interesting. You're gonna have a little bet on it.
I'd say I might.
Yeah.
I'm getting me out gaff now, so I can't be doing too much of that.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, fucking hell. Jeez, they'll revoke your fucking mortgage application if they see you're bleeding.
Yeah.
Bet 365 all over your fucking bank statement.
This is it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that's kind of the big one. It's interesting. I'm gonna try and stay up for it. Probably won't be able to. I'm actually working all weekend.
What time is it? Probably 4 o'clock, is it?
5,
Something
I'd
like
say.
that.
Probably 5.
Oh.
Vegas, man, fucking nightmare. Like it's tough with the fights, like those
it is,
fights. But it's definitely watch it the next day anyway, at the very least.
I just got a message there, and I'm saying the lads did 4 2-minute rounds, which I thought was a bit strange.
The Dom and Owen O'Neill.
Yeah,
that's mad. Yeah, I suppose exhibition, just get them in and get them out, maybe nice and quick.
I wish I got 4 2-minute rounds.
Yeah,
made a bit better.
Yeah. No. Fucking last thing I'll ask you about is there was a couple of big heavyweight fights late of recent times. Obviously, we had Fury Wilder 3. What did you make of it? I'm sure you watched it.
Oh, I don't know. Fury's a different animal, isn't he, as well? Like, I don't think any heavyweight beats him. Like, how he gets up, I fucking don't know. Like, he mentally broke Wilder, like, just getting up, but he's class, Fury, he's come. Like I'd say, since he come back and the Wilder fight, he's shown a different style than what he did years ago. He's more of a boxer, but he's looking for the opponent now. He's breaking them down. He's bullying them.
Yeah.
I don't think it's any heavyweight that'd be Fury either.
Again, it's tough to see, isn't it? He has that kind of the same stuff that we're talking about Canelo there. He has that when you watch him, you're kind of like, he can kind of do. He has so many options to win the fight, like, and he's so sophisticated as well. And the thing I think, like, say, if you're comparing, say, Fury and Joshua, who would have been the 2 big heavyweights for a long time, or for the last few years, Joshua seems to, something that really worries me about Joshua is that he seems to not be able to adapt on his own. He needs somebody to tell him what to do. He seems to be not very adaptable in the fight. Whereas Fury could fight without a trainer in the corner. And I would be still quite confident he would win every fight. Like,
that's the foundations from, like, that's the from boxing when you're a young lad, like, coming through the amateurs. Now Joshua won the Olympics now, but that's just you can't learn that, really. That's coming through so many fights, so many amateur fights. He learns how to adapt in there himself,
Yeah.
And that's what Joshua is saying, like, all the interviews, he's going around looking for trainers that can show him how to adapt and this and that, But I don't know. I think Joshua's best thing is just going forward and trying to get them out there. Like, I don't think he's ever going to be the best boxer in the world, So I think he should just try and stick to what he's good at and try and get the job done that way rather than revert into something else and not really being able to get the job done, He looked like he was only going to give USYK problems when he was on top of him. Where standing off, USYK's 2-time Olympic champion, and he's southpaw. He was picking him off easy, like,
Yeah, just like they're kind of talking about how fast Joshua is and stuff for heavyweight, but you're talking about, like, USYK is quicker. Like, he's coming up from cruiserweight.
None he hasn't seen before, like,
Yeah, exactly. No, it was outstanding. But yeah, what did you make of the fight anyway when you were all watching it? Like, how did you see it going? Because this is interesting. I was talking to I was talking to Kevin Ajarko there, was it the day before yesterday? And he said he was at the fight and he was saying to me he had it like level after 8 rounds. And I was like, what are people looking at if they think that was level after 8 rounds? Like, I just don't see it.
No, I had the USYK winning nearly every round, like, you know what I mean? Joshua maybe 1 or 2 rounds, and that's, you know what I mean? Close rounds could have given wouldn't have thought you get the USYK. But
that's exactly what I said. That's like almost word for word.
Joshua thought he played was 1 as well.
This is the thing, like, would you see his interview with Coogan, and he was kind of like, oh, well, in there, I didn't feel necessarily like I was losing the fight. And I was like, I was scratching my head going, what the fuck?
I know. But then I think he watched that and he realised, he realised after he watched it, like, But that, I don't know, that'd have to go, like, I reckon that'd have to be down to the corner man telling him he's winning as well. But I don't know, like, I don't know, like, if I come back after close rounds and saying to Phil, he won that round, you know what I mean? So, you know where you stand, like, and they don't need to go out and knock this fella out. They're going to say you have to finish him, you know what I mean? You have to, so so that's what I thought. But I thought USYK could have stopped him in the last round as well, but just didn't put the pressure on him. I thought if he had stopped him, he wouldn't have got the 3rd fight, so he's probably boxing clever, you know what I mean?
maybe, yeah. It was a funny one, wasn't it? I think you saw that I thought the way I looked at it was that Usyk he could have definitely stepped in and stopped him, but I don't know. It was like he was just still being a little bit careful or something. Maybe he's just like, no, I won't overcommit. I'm hurting him, but I'm not going to fucking open myself up, because if he does, and I think the funny thing is, Joshua didn't land that many punches in the whole fight, but he still marked it. He did hit him a bit, and he marked him up, and like Usyk was caught and marked him, and he hit him one or two very good shots. Yeah.
I think he rocked him like in the fifth or sixth. Saying Usyk was hurt, like, and I thought, like, but again, he didn't go for it, and he tried to box him, and Usyk was able to recover and just adapt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just adapt, a natural boxer. You know, and I think I listened to an interview after with Usyk, and he was like, oh, we have families to go home to. Why would I get him out there, even though I know I could have or whatever, you know? Like, so he definitely knew. I definitely think he could have, you know. But I don't think the third fight there would have been as much want in it, you know, if he gets him out there. So another payday, another handy one.
Fair enough. How do you see Usyk and Fury going if they get it on for the undisputed? Which I think Usyk will probably win the rematch against Joshua. So if they fought Fury and Usyk, what do you think?
Oh, I just think Fury edges it just because of the size, you know, just size, like just the bigger man, like. Two of my great boxers. Usyk's probably a better boxer, to be honest, but I think Fury just leans on him, you know, tires him out, pops the jab, keeps moving.
Do you think that Fury will be able to do what Joshua didn't or couldn't do? Like,
yeah, he has that, like, you see, he moves like a natural boxer, you know, like he move his good footwork, you know, he'll be able to move in an hour range, he'll be able to lean on Usyk, he'll be able to just upset him a little bit, you know what I mean? And I think he could beat him, definitely.
It'll be an interesting one anyway. There's probably loads of stuff I'm missing out and I can't think of right now. But
I'm going to be on a bit a few times yourself there, and like, you know.
Yeah.
It's getting late.
It's getting late, man. But look, I'm gonna let you go. Thanks so much for your time. I appreciate it. Hopefully I'll be back in Dublin in the next month or two, and I'm gonna hopefully come down to the gym.
Drop down the gym. We'll have some training session. We get a coffee or something.
Yeah, that'd be great, man. I'd love that. Enjoy the boxing tonight, man. I'm gonna stick it back on myself now, and talk to you very soon.
Hope Padraig McCarty wins well. You know.
Yeah, me too.
He was down the gym doing a bit of sparring with us a little while ago. You know what I mean? He looks very good. Not sparred me now. We sparred Bulky and that, but he looks very good. You know.
He was he was brilliant up at the Fela Festival a couple of months ago.
Yeah, so hopefully this is probably another similar to Croc. I know a bit of a breakout for them.
Yeah, and I was chatting to Dee Walsh, who was also I think he was a trainer who was on the rise as well. Dee's and he's a gentleman, and he's ready to throw Paddy in there with fucking anyone basically. So
it's very hard.
Yeah, and he looks up at the Fela, like against that Russian Gorakov. You know, it's supposed to be like this 50-50 where the Russian was like the favorite. But Paddy completely controlled the bout from like the first or second round, and I was very impressed with his boxing skills. You know what I mean? His jab was brilliant.
I didn't realize how good he was until I seen him training. You know, seeing him in the gym. I didn't realize how good he was.
Yeah, really solid. So hopefully all the lads get the victories tonight. But as I say, man, thanks very much, and I'll chat to you soon. Yeah,
soon, mate. Thank you. See ya.
Take it easy, bud.